I'm just trying to fight for America, fight for democracy, fight for the good of our country against this psychopath and his cult-like followers who won't listen to reason, that simply believe this man. And it's crushing what he's proposing to do to America, what he's already done to America. There's just no sense in supporting this man. And this is just a civil case. Yeah, it's just about his money. But it's always about Trump, whether it's his money, its power, his prestige. But this court case cannot send him to jail or give him, it's not a felony, but it's just one of many. And the man is a psychopath. He's just disgusting.
How concerned are you about next year elections?
Very concerned. Because even when Biden won, Trump had more support than he did the first time around. So even when Biden won, and I stress that, when Biden won, he had more votes, Trump had more votes than he did the first time, despite knowing that COVID was a horrible disease that was spread. He played it down, despite enriching himself and appointing a bunch of crooks into his administration, to locking up, separating families at the border, and trying to get Ukraine to furnish dirt on Biden that still has not appeared, folks. It's just horrible. It's happening in Hungary with Orban, and Poland. Thank God they defeated him. But Slovakia, they elected some screwballs as well. The Republican Party is just a party of Trump, and they support Putin, and it's a takeover. It's a fascist takeover of America, and it's got to stop.
Now, being what's going on in the Middle East, a lot of people Biden's actually losing support because he's sending aid to Israel.
Right, he's losing support amongst the liberal left. Yes,
right,
because of that.
Now, how do you see that playing out? Do you think that Trump is going to come up ahead?
Well, Trump has been so incompetent in foreign policy. I don't see how he can come ahead. Biden, personally, I am not in favor of aligning ourselves so closely with Israel and giving them carte blanche. I don't know why we refer to them as our greatest ally. They've never fought alongside of us in any war. We're giving them billions of dollars a year, and they never listen. They never give us any respect. They still kick the West Bank Palestinians out of their homes and cut off the water to Gaza. It's not a healthy relationship. But Biden is supportive of Israel initially, but hopefully working behind the scenes to try to get them to not bombard, carpet bomb Gaza City. This is ridiculous. It's awful.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else you would like to add? Anything?
No, just peace. Get out there, fight, for your right to vote. Please, we have to defeat the Trumpists in this world. Trump lies, democracy dies. Trump lies
all the time.
Trump lies
All the time.
Trump lies
All the time.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm not here to hear what he has to say. That was what rang true, loud, and could not have been more honest, coming from the judge who has already predetermined that my client committed fraud before we even walked into this courtroom. I'm not here to hear what he has to say. Then why exactly am I being paid as an attorney, and why exactly are taxpayer dollars being used in this courtroom? The answer is very clear. Because Miss James wants to stand right here like she did this morning and call my client a liar, call the company fraudulent, and make a name for herself. She said this morning that the numbers don't lie, and they won't lie in this case. Well, Miss James, I have a message for you. The numbers didn't lie when you ran for governor, and that's why you dropped out. And the numbers don't lie when President Trump runs for office in 2024. And those numbers are loud and clear. This country is falling apart. And if we don't stop corruption in courtrooms where attorneys are gagged, where attorneys are not allowed to say what they need to say to protect their clients' interests, it doesn't matter what your politics are. Everyone has a right in this country to get up and put a defense. I don't care who you are. You have a right to hire a lawyer who can put objections on the record. You have a right to hire a lawyer who can stand up and say something when they see something wrong. But I was told to sit down today. I was yelled at, and I've had a judge who is unhinged slamming a table. Let me be very clear, I don't tolerate that in my life. I'm not going to tolerate it here. And you know what? You shouldn't either. Because not every American citizen gets a camera and a microphone. And what I'm seeing is such a demise of American judicial system and democracy. Miss James came out this morning and said that she knew Mr. Trump, and she always calls him Mr. Trump because it kills her that he was the president. But the 45th president of this country, one of the best presidents we've had, has built a great company. It's worth a ton more than that statement of financial condition. And she doesn't know how to get out of it because her politics won't allow her. She calls him a bully. She says he's going to bring out racial slurs. He's going to say things today and taunt her. Well, Miss James, you taunted him. Before you came into office, before you saw one record, one statement of financial condition, you taunted him. You said his administration was too male and too pale. Those are her words. She said that she and Michael Cohen were going to be his biggest nightmare. Well, I have some news for you, Miss James. Michael Cohen folded, lied, and crumbled. Your star witness, along with all the DAs and corrupt AGs, need to be paying attention to what happens when you let us take the stand. When you let my client speak the truth, and the judge can tell me to sit down, and he can try and shorten my client's testimony, but it is loud and clear. They've got nothing. They've got nothing but their politics. She's got nothing but her Soros backing, which we discovered recently. And I am sick and tired of seeing it. Pay attention, America. Pay attention. Because when you're in court one of these days and you don't have a lawyer that has a microphone, and you don't have a lawyer that can go on TV, and you've got judges gagging them, what are you gonna do? We need to fix this country. And we need to stop what is happening in this courtroom. President Trump is worth a lot more, and she wasn't ready for it. She doesn't understand it. And before she rushed to judgment, she should have thought about attacking somebody with over 50 years of real estate expertise who changed single-handedly the skyline of New York City. She picked the wrong person, and her politics will fail for it.
Are you concerned by the judge's statement that President Trump's longer answers, that he draws negative inferences from his longer answers?
So let's be clear about why the judge said that. The judge doesn't like when President Trump explains what actually happened because it's not good for his narrative. This is a judge who clearly has an issue. If you've seen his behavior with me, you've seen his behavior with the president today. He has a clear issue with facts that are not good for the case because he already predetermined, and I want everyone to understand, this is, yes, we do not have a jury. Yes, we do not have a lot of things that we should because they brought it under Section 6312. But this judge decided this case and liability before we walked up those stairs. I didn't have a shot. So right now we're sitting here doing a whole dance, and the only thing they want are facts that are bad for Trump. That's why he's silencing him. That's why he's telling him short answers, and that's why he's clearly enraged. His face is red. He came in hot, and he doesn't know how to handle him.
Knowing the judge is the one who will decide the penalties, have you urged your client, President Trump, to keep his answers more concise based on the judge's version?
If my client was worried about people's penalties on him, and that's supposed to silence his right to free speech and his right to take a stand and explain, then I wouldn't want to represent him. My client's done nothing wrong. His answer should be full, and if they try and silence him, the record will reflect that, and we'll deal with it on appeal. Yes. Anything else?
Why did the president plead the fifth last year if he was willing to testify today?
So everything is done strategically. I can't get into that. The truth of the matter is, the fifth was done in an EUO, which is a special proceeding. Once they brought the case, we decided it was better to fight the facts. But frankly, I never thought that she would bring the case, because once you see what his actual values are, you see that there's no there. But you know, she gets a lot of attention from this. You all are sitting out here. She comes out. She calls him a liar. I mean, this is third world stuff. You're not allowed to run before you even know what somebody's company is, before you even know what their financials are, and call someone a liar and call them a fraud and base your politics on this. Miss James would not be the Attorney General but for President Trump. Let's be very clear about that. And that might hurt her a little bit, but that's the facts. The facts hurt. That's why she wasn't a good governor. She didn't make governor. She didn't even come close. She used this case as a cover. Numbers don't lie, Miss James, to use her own words. Numbers don't lie. Anything else?
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Alina Habba just said that nobody should be called a liar, but it was one of the first things that she did here. Is she called my client a liar, that he lied when he testified last week and a half ago. He didn't lie. He has convictions in his past, but his testimony a week and a half ago was nothing but the truth and the whole truth. I don't have anything else really to add other than, again, what happened today. She was asked to sit down. She should have sat down. Shouldn't have required the judge to say to sit down. Same with Mr. Kais, who makes the statements. It's inappropriate, and the judge doesn't stop telling them it's inappropriate, and they keep doing it anyway. So it is a small, maybe not a small maybe because it's confined to a courtroom, but it's become now this circus. It's nothing less than a circus in there. It's performative by the witness, who doesn't answer the questions, even though the judge keeps asking him to answer the questions. It's unfortunate that the cameras aren't in the courtroom. Y'all would have seen what was going on there.
She said your client folded. What was your reaction to that?
I don't think he folded at all. He was very forthright, and he explained why in the past he had made the statements he did to the criminal court judge, and he made his statements here. There was no folding at all. Actually, if you want me to get into it, I don't think you do.
Get into it. Get into it.
Sure, it's Jeffrey, Jeffrey, middle initial K, and last name Levine. I represent Mr. Cohen in this matter. I represented Mr. Cohen since he was unlawfully remanded back to Otisville. I was the lawyer present with him. And we represent a case now right here in the 2nd District after his case was dismissed against Donald Trump and Bill Barr and others for the unlawful remand back to Otisville. So we hope that the Second Circuit will reverse that determination. Any other questions? You know what?
I do want you to get into it. You say you don't want to get into it. I want you to get into it.
I'll get into it. Let me answer your question first. Am I going back in? You know what? My admission fees used up for the circus for the day. So no, I've seen enough for the morning. I think it'll be the same. The only thing I think that could happen, either today or if the case continues till tomorrow with this witness, is if the lawyers keep going the way they're going to go, and in particular Chris Kais, and I don't know him personally, but I've seen the behavior. He's a Florida lawyer. He was admitted at the discretion of Judge Engeron. He could have that revoked if he persists, and he got that gag order last week when he was out of order. So that's something. I don't think money is going to make the difference for this judge. So no, I'm not going to go back. I've seen enough. As far as getting into it, so there was testimony with my client, and the defense showed testimony from the Senate Intelligence Committee, which had been declassified or was not originally open to the public and then became open. And the question was taken out of context. And so when Mr. Cohen answered the question, he answered it narrowly to that, and everybody ran out of the courtroom to make statements that he had folded or the case is over. And that's when Cliff Robert made his motion to dismiss. And that was denied. On redirect by the Attorney General's office, that statement, that narrow, out-of-context statement, was clarified. And it was basically, the question was something like, did Donald Trump or Alan Weisselberg direct you or tell you to do the financial statements? And the answer was, to the Senate Intelligence Committee, something along the lines of, Not that I recall, no. But then if you read the next few sentences in that testimony, the answer was right there. Donald Trump doesn't really just do that. He speaks in code, etc., etc. So I don't think Michael Cohen folded at all. Actually, I think he honestly answered something, and he hadn't seen that transcript ever, but he knew the testimony somewhat from years earlier. So I think Michael did a fine job, and he did what he was supposed to do, and he testified truthfully under oath. Anything else? Great. Have a great lunch, everybody. Sorry to take. I didn't expect to be here to do this, but I couldn't not say something when she called him a person that lied under oath at this trial.